Good morning and g'day. I'm Baz. This is iSharpen, and today I'm sharpening, I think it's about 22, 23 knives for 4 customers. So it's going to be a bit of a movie fest. I'm going to make 4 movies, one for each customer, because that's a new theme that I've got now, is that I'm offering to show them how I sharpen their knives, and they're loving it. So if you're one of the customers, hope you love this. First customer is 3 Japanese Tajirus. We have a chef knife here with a weird little problem that I'll show you in a minute. We've got a Nakiri style chopper, vegetables. A curved, sort of a bigger than a utility, but nice knife. Bit of a broken tip. And a global utility. So that's this movie here. Four knives. So first of all, let's have a look at this one. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got it seems to come down and then up on the end. Can you see that? A bit weird. So I'm going to bring it over to the linisher and just take that nib off the top and see if I can turn that into a nice smooth belly. Much better. Smooth. Now that has made that tip a little bit fatter, but hopefully in the sharpening that'll thin back down and it should be good. Beautiful knife. My freshly polished holder. Bring this down to 15 degrees per side. Although it's quite a fat knife, it should be able to handle that quite easily. It is a beautiful sound, isn't it? It's quite melodious. I know words. Nice. Now this is quite smooth. I might just roughen it up a little bit to get that started. And of course, for those who are new to the channel, welcome. This is an 80 grit diamond knife sharpening plate available on eBay Australia. There's lots of them. If you're going to buy one, make sure you get one with the black foam on the back. I've actually been in touch with my supplier, and I think I might be able to, I might grab a few of these just for those of you who prefer the stone wheels. I'll keep you informed. Beautiful. Now I'm going to smooth it off a bit using the 320 grit diamond plate. Oh, I stopped the wheel because I must have some water here on the infinite gravity drive, I call it. Beautiful strong burr. Somebody asked me the other day, how do you know if there's a burr there without using a microscope? I can feel it. It's very obvious. I pass 3 fingers over the top that way, and then I pass 3 fingers, you can feel it. It's like a ridge. It's undeniable. And if it's not undeniable, then you should grind it some more until it is. I often demonstrate that to the customers and teach them a little bit about knife sharpening when they come in. If you're one of my customers, you'd be nodding right now. Beautiful. One final step, I'm going to use a little oak wooden peg, and that seems to smooth the wheel even more. These Tormek wheels are multi-grade, which means you can raise and lower the grain and how rough they are, how smooth they are, using various methods. Quite ingenious. Lovely. This is the Tormek Precision Bevel. It's a thing of beauty. Tormek sent me an email. More on that to come in the future. They're on summer holidays at the moment, so they got me all excited for nothing. But and they said, oh yes, we're well aware of your channel, mate, and would like to work with you. So some interesting things coming up, hopefully. Now, that's finished grinding. I'm going to now remove that burr using the honing wheel and the 8000 grit Veritas honing compound, and I do it freehand, which is fine. My aim is to find the bevel which I can feel, because when I'm on the bevel there's obviously more surface area and it wants to pull the knife forward, so I find that spot and then I just lift the knife up just a little tiny bit to get to the apex, or the very top of the triangle. And it's all these little things that I do that give me such a fine edge at the end. Yeah, it does take me a little bit longer than some of the sanding belt guys, who are masters on the belt, but I don't mind. I've got nothing else to do. And if I can spend a few extra minutes on somebody's knife, it's a very personal thing for them. People often love their knives, especially if they're bringing them to a sharpener. And then I feel for the burr on my fingernail. What I'm feeling for is ultra smooth with no catching. And that's exactly what that is. Now, that would be fine. You could finish there, but I take it to one extra step. As many of you know, I'm lucky enough to live in Australia, and we've got access to kangaroo tail. Very difficult to find overseas, but we've got them here. If you're looking for an equivalent, try buffalo hide or horse hide, but it must be a crust. A crust is a raw hide that has not been rolled or flattened or dyed. I mean, obviously the animal died, but you know. So, using the full length initially, just a few light strokes to get rid of the micro burr, or the burr that persists inside all my little grinding marks. From this, I've got little grinding marks, And in between all the grinding marks lies another secondary burr, which is microscopic. You can't feel it, you can't see it. Well, Outdoors 55 might be able to see it with all his fancy equipment, but I can't. But I use its evidence of existence by seeing if I can slice through a very fine cigarette rolling paper. Because if I can do this, that tells me that there's no burr. See how it was a bit catchy there? I mean, that's pretty good, but I'm going to give it another little rub on the back, the suede side. Now, if you're in Australia, you can buy these off me. I sell the raw tails. And I could even make you one of these if you want, but there's no need. You can just glue it onto a piece of wood or clamp it. Clamp it! Alright. These knives belong to Mr. R. Hope you're watching. Oh, great entry. Beautiful. Oh, I'm even double slicing. Caught the back there. How good's that? So that's ready to go. That's beautiful. Let's just see how it slices through the magazine paper. Ooh. We do have a catch there. Wonder why. Ah, we've got a little rust spot. There. Oh, right there. See that? Now, do I leave it or do I grind it? What do you think? I think you know the answer. Back on the grinder. Oh, geez, it's a toss-up. Do I, don't I? I mean, you won't notice it in the food. And there's a few other little rusty spots as well. Let me show you. Right there. There's one. Right there, see that? And how many have I got on this side? I've only got that one. But on this side, I have several. Right, there's one. Oh, that's a bit of rust. That's left the corrosion. And here's 3 more. So there's that little nick. And there's a rust spot there and a rust spot there. Now, as I grind down through them, they're going to create their own caves. So I've just decided that I'm going to leave it. I'm going to call it a flaw. I'll point it out to him. Because if I grind down through that one, I'm going to encounter this one in the middle. Or this one next to it. So I'll be replacing 1 with 2. I think I'm going to leave it. I'll leave it. Let me know in the comments, was that the right decision or the wrong decision? I think that'll be fine. You should be able to see it in here. Oh, well, can you? You can't really feel it. I'm going to leave it. I'm happy with that. It won't be noticeable in the food. It's only noticeable to us knife nerds. And if he wants me to grind it off, then I will, but I'm going to have to go quite deep because I've got to go past those other two of his mates. So we're going to leave that and move on to the Nakiri. Again, we'll do this one at 15. Now, just a little one for your stiff ship book. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to illustrate how the angles work on a Tormek. So, if I lay this flat down on the wheel, I'm going to be grinding in the guts of the blade, and we'll call that a 0 degree. And as we lift it up, that is obviously a 90 degree. So between there and there are all the angles. So as I lift the knife up by raising this rest, which sits on here, I can adjust the angle. Ingenious. So that's what I'm doing, and I have a little gauge here. Very simple. Lock it into place and straight into it. Nice and smooth. Now obviously I haven't adjusted the wheel from the last knife, so this is on the ultra smooth setting, but we'll see. If I can get away with this setting, then it saves the wheel, which by the way is down to about 185 now, or 190-ish, and still going strong. Blackstone. I don't know how many knives I've done, but I'm guessing probably about 750, maybe 800 knives on this wheel. It definitely seems to last longer, and seems to work just as well as the SG wheel, which is a bit softer and therefore easier to grade, but it won't do the high speed steels and the super steels like this one does. This one has carbides in it. It's made of silicon carbide, and the carbides are very, very sharp. So this wheel will sharpen pretty much anything you throw at it. Although I would like to test it on some of the super steels, but I've got to find one of those knives, and I've only come across some pretty mild super steels. I don't remember their names now, because I'm not that much of a nerd or a geek. The difference between a nerd and a geek: a nerd is a bit weird, but a geek is just someone who's really into whatever they're into. So I'm a geek, not a nerd. You may beg to differ. And although I am putting a bevel on this, I do think that it's a little bit smooth, because I have some chips on the very tip that are a little bit stubborn. So I'm grinding it at about 1000 grit at the moment, maybe a little bit higher. But if you think about it, one revolution is like having a stone That is the circumference of that, like having a stone this long. And this revolves at 90 revolutions a minute, or about 100, depends. I think it says 90 to 100. So that's 1 minute on the wheel is like doing 90 strokes on a really long stone. So it does some pretty fast grinding, but it is very similar to grinding on a manual stone in that sense. The beauty of the Tormek is, of course, the angle gets locked in. It produces these magnificent bevels that you're seeing. Now I'm wiping a lot because I want to see if I can catch those nicks right at the top here. I think there's one left. Straight away. Good strong burr. So we're finished as far as that's concerned. I can still see it. So I'll give it a little bit more. Yep, that's gone. But the tip is a little bit uneven, according to my engineering eyes. Beautiful. Just beautiful. A few little tiny catches. have a look. Nearly. Using quite light pressure. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now, while we're halfway through the movie, there's 2 more knives to go. It's a good time to mention the sponsor of today's movie, which is me and my 3 Baz knives. There's 3 in the range now. There's the original Baz knife. Beautiful. This is the original Baz knife. This is one I've kept for myself, but the rosewood handles are very similar than this. VG10 core, 66 layers of actual Damascus. It's a 212 because it's 212 millimeters, which is about 8.3 inches. But how good is that? Huh. But that's not all. We have the cheaper version, and this is the German steel X50 Chromov 15 210. It's a slightly softer steel, 56 to 58, which means you can sharpen it, but it's also much cheaper. I'm only asking 130 Australian dollars for these. Ebony handle, beautiful, smooth, lovely to the touch, well smooth, well sharp. So that's the chef knife. It's got an open heel, no bolster to get in the way, 45 degree, beautiful knives. Grab one. Comes in a nice gift box. And of course the star of the show is the Baz Mini. This one is very popular. You guys are loving it. Snapping it up. There's only a few left, but I can always get more. VG10 core, just like the other one, Damascus 66. It's a 129 millimeter, which is around about 5 inch. Very nice, very sharp. Nice. So head on down to iSharpen.shop. So that's iSharpen .shop, because it's my shop, and grab one. I'll send it to you express mail, so you won't have to wait long. Yeah. All right, let's finish up. Super curved Tojiro. Oh, this one has a broken tip. Right, now, I'm not going to take this all the way down on the spine because that's a lot of work and unnecessary. So I'm just going to give that tip just a bit of a grind there to take that off on the machine behind me. All sorted. Lots of water, no heat. 30 degrees as well on this one, which is 15 degrees per side. Now this is curved, so up here it is slightly higher, and at the back it's slightly higher. So I'm going to align the knife so that the deepest part is where I'm measuring the angle, and the tip and the heel will be slightly bigger angle because they're higher up on the wheel. That's not going to be noticeable or a problem. And in fact the bevel should stay the same size because the heels are often fatter and the tips are often fatter as well because they're up here at the spine. So it all evens out and looks fantastic in the end. In case you're new to the Tormek, you must never ever rotate the head. This head must remain parallel to the bar at all times. To get to a higher tip, you lift the handle. To get to a higher heel, you lower the handle. Right? And by doing that, you get to the whole part of the knife. Never rotate. I've seen people do this. Right? No, incorrect. This is the way. See how high the handle is now? By the time it's in the belly, it's level with the wheel. And in order to get to the heel, look at the tip here, how it's coming up higher. That's because I'm lowering the handle. Beautiful handle too. See how high the handle is? Now the handle is level with the wheel. And as I get to the heel, I drop the handle and look at the tip come up. See the tip coming up? Probably don't have to drop the handle that much in this knife, but it does help to make a beautiful even bevel. Now another thing people do erroneously is they grind one side entirely until they feel a burr and then they do the other side. Well, that's no good, because imagine you have a knife. This is the blade of the knife going down here, and this is the edge at the top. Imagine if it was square. Well, if you wanted to grind one side all the way over, well, now look, you've got a lopsided knife. You've got a burr, sure, and when you switch over to that side, it's easy to get a burr on this side because you've already got a burr, so just one little pass. So now you've got a knife that's exaggerated. It's got a huge bevel on one side, a small bevel on the other, and you can feel a burr. So the burr is misleading. You must be even. Now when you're first grinding a knife, it's okay to do a few passes on one side and then a few passes on the other, and then one until you've touch in the middle. So you must always use your engineering eye to have a look at the bevels and make sure that they're even. There you go. Have a burr developing. Because remember, I'm still on the ultra smooth setting here. So I'm just gently taking off metal without being too aggressive. Not really a method for the farmer's market where you have 15,000 knives to do in 10 minutes. But if you're into precision and you have the heart for it, the Tormek is great for achieving a perfect, smooth and even bevel, which I love. And remember, you can't teach heart. You can teach the skill, but unless you've got the heart for it, which means you really, really want on a personal satisfaction level to achieve the best possible result you can as a human, you're not going to succeed as well as those who have the heart. So, if you're a sharpener and watching this, do you have the heart? That's beautiful. Magnificent. There he is. Hey Chili, you want to say hello? Hello. Sorry to wake you. What are you looking at me like that for? You alright? Bought a lot of snacks. You guys are pitching in so well. Thank you very much. At the iSharpen.shop, there's a way for you to buy him a snack if you want. $10 Australian, because that's how much the snacks usually cost. I bought a ton of them. And you're helping me buy his normal regular food, which has just gone up by about 50%, because I only buy the best food and he loves it. he would rob a bank for the food that I give him. Let's have a look here. Magnificent. Oops, did you see that? Sometimes I focus on the job and I miss the camera shot. Let's try it again. I'll try it from over here. Beautiful. So, last knife is the Global Utility. A lot of discussion on the Global knives in my Global video, which is going quite nicely actually, up to about 30,000+ views now. But these knives, they're subject to a bit of rust. Right, see those black marks? They're like pocks, they're like craters in the metal caused by rust. Now, customer states that he's very careful with his knives and he doesn't know how that happened, so it doesn't take much. Maybe it wasn't quite dry when he put it away. Same thing happens to me. So, you know, we have to be careful with our knives as much as possible. Now, even though the Global can take a 14, I'm going to give it a 15, which is plenty. Oh, this doesn't have much of an edge on it at all, so I'm going to take the wheel all the way back to 80 grit. Now this isn't actually 80 grit, the plate is 80 grit, but the wheel resists the plate and it ends up being around about 3 times the grit, so about 240, 250. On the wheel. I have a burr, so then I'll move to the 320 grade, which takes the wheel back up to about 1,000. Now some say that the Globals must be sharpened to a rounded convex shape like they were from the factory, and that's probably a fair argument. But of course on the Tormek we get a flat bevel, or straight bevel as some people call it, and that works just fine. People often report to me that they've never been sharper than after I give them back to them. So they must work. Beautiful. Of course. Oh, came out the other end. That's lucky. Used to know a guy called Lucky. I'm sure he's around somewhere. I like to leave in the little happenings of the workshop. I think you like that. I'm a bit of an oasis, somebody said, from all the horrible AI clips with music in the background. Real life doesn't have music in the background. Oh, I suppose it can do, but I don't. So real life around here doesn't. Although sometimes I do play there's a couple of YouTube channels that play hits from the 60s and 70s. I like the 70s, not so, although I was around for the 80s. The pop music of the 80s does nothing for me, unless it's heavy metal. Speaking of which, poor old Ozzy Osbourne died last night. What a guy. I used to play in a metal band. I was the bass player. Love all of his songs. All of them. He will be sorely missed. We've lost a few lately, haven't we? Eddie Van Halen, Ozzy Osbourne. Still, nobody gets out alive. Best thing we can do is leave a legacy behind. Alright, that's it, we're done. So thank you very much for watching. And don't forget to visit iSharpen.shop. Pick up a snack for chili, or maybe grab one of the Baz knives. Thank you for your support, and I'll see you in movie number 2, which is coming up shortly.